want to welcome a very special guest to the Girlfriend Hour couch. He's an incredible human with a huge amount of knowledge on all things wellness and ageing. A speaker, an author, a super successful podcast creator and wellness mentor. It is the incredible Marcus Pearce. Marcus is going to share with us his tips and insights into longevity, both in life and business. Girlfriends, let's give him a warm welcome to Marcus Pearce. Oh, welcome, Marcus, to the Girlfriend Hour Lounge.
Rowdy audience.
So good.
This is so great. You've been an inspiration of mine for many, many years, Marcus. So you're a speaker, author and mentor on all things longevity and life design. Tell us how this journey began and where did the passion come from?
Well, I never thought I would say this, but it was because I was a raging vegan, Shar, for many years, to the point where I was shaving with raw avocado. Don't know if you've ever tried it. But I was doing this because I thought veganism was the fountain of youth. And then in 2010, I came across some research thinking that veganism was number one. It was done by the Yale School of Public Health. And over the course of 20 years, they asked questions, the same questions of about 600 people. As you age, you become less useful. And I want the audience and everyone watching to think of your answers to this question. As you age, you become less useful. As you age, you realise your best years are behind you. And as you age, you realise you're a burden on your family and society. Quite confronting questions. And what this study found was that the people that had a disempowered view of ageing, of the future, died 7.5 years earlier than those that had an empowered view of ageing. I want everyone to let that sink in, because here I was shaving with avocado, thinking that was going to make me live to 100, exercising like a maniac, doing everything, meditating, green juicing, all of the things. And what the study found was it wasn't genes, it wasn't how much money was in the bank, it wasn't your diet, it wasn't your social life, it certainly wasn't if you're a vegan or not, it was a belief. And I've been barking up the wrong tree for 5 or 6 years, and ever since 2010, I've been attempting to bark up the right tree and teaching this message of empowered ageing.
Gosh, that's amazing. And now there's avocados for all of us.
Yeah, everyone gets an avocado today.
Everyone gets an avocado. Yeah. You all get an avocado. You've got an amazing podcast called 100 Not Out. Tell us about that and who do you have on that show?
Well, we started it back in 2013. I think we're up to episode 460 or 70 because I wanted to prove, I still thought that vegans would live the longest. And then my co-host Damien, who's an omnivore meat eater, he said, no, the meat eaters will live the longest. And what we found was diet actually has nothing to do with longevity. It is actually purpose, movement, and social life. And so 9 years of recording episode after episode of Holocaust survivors and war survivors and little Betty who's 95 and how do you live a long time and all of the rest of it. We all think, oh, I've got to eat this and I've got to do that. But actually, do you love what you've got ahead of you in the day? Is exercise a chore or a choice? You want to just do whatever feels like a choice. And are you saying, I don't have time to catch up with friends, or are you prioritising your social life? They are the three big things of longevity. And I've really learnt that through 100 Not Out.
That is brilliant. So girlfriends, more social time, okay? More dance parties.
Absolutely.
Who's up for that?
Absolutely. More coffee and cake, more cocktails,
the
more
hot
parties.
donuts. I have permission. You all heard it here.
Yeah,
permission to eat the jam donut.
Yeah.
Now, there's a little island in Greece called Ikaria.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I've been going there every year pre-COVID with a small group of people to really learn what it takes to create a great long life. The New York Times call Ikaria the island where people forget to die. It's a great term.
Oh.
Because you go there and it's like going back in time. There's no supermarkets, no big businesses, there's nothing big, no one's driving flash cars. Everyone's walking. They go, why drive when I can walk? Whereas we would all go, why walk when I can drive? When they get home from work, they actually stop working, believe it or not. And they pour themselves a glass of wine and they socialise with their friends.
Sorry,
and
I've got to
family.
move to Ikaria. One-way ticket.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to go. I want to live there. But they know how to live. But they don't have to study it and go, right, how do we create our exceptional life? It's innate. They just know how to do it. And there's a saying in Ikaria, it either sucks you in or it spits you out. And it's definitely sucked me in.
Oh, I need to go there. Bucket list.
Yeah.
What's one thing we should all stop doing or start doing right now?
I think we want to stop poo-pooing getting older. I know people in their 20s scared of turning 30 and people in their 30s scared of turning 40 and so on and so forth. And you're not over the hill when you're 40 or you're 50 or whatever number you think that is. The average Australian is going to live well into their 80s and 90s. And I think 1 in 2 people born today will get to 100. So that is exciting. We want to create a life that excites us where my corny one-liner is, we want to make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. Many people don't believe that they can, but I truly want to help people have that belief that their future is empowering.
It's interesting you say that, Marcus, because there was an article I read many years ago, and it's people that, I don't want to turn this, I don't want to grow old, I don't want to do this. And then there was an interview with a patient who was dying of cancer. And all the things that we wish won't happen, she was saying, I wish I could celebrate one more birthday. I wish I could celebrate watching my kids graduate or get married, all the things that she didn't have the opportunity to do. So we do all need to be grateful and live this life to the absolute fullest, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And if you're ever getting a bit precious about your own life, just learn from a war survivor or a cancer, someone that's got a terminal illness. Like, give yourself what I call just the gratitude of contrast by recognising there are people in your life that are just doing it so tough, and they would love your problems.
Absolutely.
Love your problems.
First world problems, like stickers on the bottom of the shoe when you walk out on set. Like, that's a first world. Why do we overthink this stuff? And we really do. And so your Wellness Couch podcast network, that was phenomenal. Tell us about that. It's
just like I tell my dad, it's like a big radio station, Dad, of just all things health and wellness topics. And so it's a bit like a Google for health and wellness and personal growth, where I think we've had about 12 million downloads since 2011, which is just
12 million downloads.
Well, thank you, but it's more just a testament that people are hungry. They want to live an exceptional life. And whether that is through improving your health and wellness or improving your family relationships or your friendships or finding the career that you love, people are hungry, and I think we need to honour that.
Yes. Now, self-sabotage is a big thing in the weight industry. Take us through some of the things that people do and the extremes they go to, and how do we avoid them?
I think from an ageing well and longevity, and again, we're all ageing, so I think this is something we all must own, is life is actually short. Don't settle for a job that you're going to regret not chasing your dreams down the track. You look at anyone, whether they're a gardener, an accountant, a swimmer, or a cleaner, the most fulfilled ones are the ones that wake up each day and love it. So if you don't love what you do, that's a pretty big red flag. Move in a way that you love. Stop doing yoga because everyone else is. Go and move in a way that brings you joy, whether it's dancing or swimming. I love dancing, absolutely.
Woo!
I love, there's a lady over in, she's in Spain, but she's in her 80s, and she pretty much won Britain's Got Talent doing salsa acrobatica, which is dancing is something she gave up when she had children, and then her kids got old, and in her 80s she resumed it. Like, move in a way that brings you joy, and dear oh dear, particularly post-COVID, make time for your friends. Never say, I don't have time to catch up. Like, it's a big red flag if you're saying, I don't have time to socialise.
That's a really good one. And I'm guilty of that sometimes, as my girlfriends know. It's not done with the wrong heart, but we do sometimes prioritise other things, and you never know what's going to happen. So anyone wants coffee? Not the next little while, but I'm up.
Totally.
Now, today on the show, Marcus, we're talking about the 1% shifts. Tell us about some of those that we could make in the wellness space.
Absolutely. Well, I think coming back to at the beginning of our conversation, our belief around our future is a big one. Little things around food. We eat so quickly. So if we can just eat with other people, which often slows down, talk, not with your mouth full, but talk whilst you're eating. Chew your food. There's a great thing around nutrition. It's not what you eat, it's how you eat and who you eat with. I think we get so fixated on what we're eating, but are you eating with others? I think it's great for mental health and wellness if you're eating with people that you love. And little things like with alcohol. It's not eating is cheating. Like, eat whilst you drink alcohol. This is a great lesson from Ikaria.
Another great permission, hot jam, donuts, alcohol. I really like
Well, coffee, wine and chocolate. If you want permission,
like
coffee, wine and chocolate. Everyone's trying to give it up, but all the centenarians I interview love coffee, love wine, love chocolate. So stop trying to give it up.
I'm loving this guy. Amazing, not giving it up. I'm not a quitter, hey?
Totally.
Keep talking. Tell us more about that.
Well, I think just when it comes to food, I think we've overbaked it. With family, love your family for who they are, not what they do, because in family you have opposites everywhere. We get very judgmental about family members. I think if we can just take a step back there and learn things that you love to learn. be enthusiastic about. If you want to learn French or Spanish or play the trumpet, go and play it. And then one simple thing around money, which a lot of people struggle with in the modern age, is just spend less than you earn. No matter how much you earn, master the art of spending less than you earn, and you'll find a lot of your financial issues that many people have in their 60s, 70s and 80s. You don't want to have a goal to retire on the pension. In Australia, that is still relative poverty, if you do the maths. So spend less than you earn, invest the difference, and I think you create a lot of fulfillment in life.
That's a really good point, actually, because money creates a lot of stress, and then stress eating happens because we feel bad, and then it's that vicious cycle, isn't it, that we go around and round. And so what advice could you give people around some goal setting that's realistic? Because sometimes the plan of really strict goals doesn't work because we can't stick to it. And then something will happen, oh, well, it didn't work, and they fall off the wagon, so to speak. So what's some tips you can give everyone?
I think making goals, like you said, about unrealistic, that's number one. Make something that you actually believe that you can do. Don't set a goal. I don't know, I remember when I was in my 20s earning $50,000 a year, and then I'd go, next year I'm going to earn $1 million because everyone was earning $1 million. So, you know, as we would be led to believe. And I think set a goal that empowers you, but you believe that day by day you can go out and make a positive step towards it. I think we're addicted to setting unrealistic goals, and hence we have so much depression. And again, when we come to goals and our emotions, I always like to remind people, anxiety is something that you can only feel towards the future, and guilt is something you can only feel about the past. So living in the present moment is about being able to focus on what do you want right now. If you're anxious about something, a lot of the time it can be because you do have an unrealistic expectation on the future. The goal is too big. And if you're feeling guilty about something from the past, maybe you had unrealistic expectations about how something should have played out. So, and again, you travel to these longevity cultures, and they don't even need to say this. They just do it innately. And so there's some of my observations around goal setting.
There's some great tips in there. I hope everyone was taking notes. And as we wrap up today, tell us about your amazing book. Oh,
you're very kind, Shar. Well, it's really a summary of over 200 interviews with centenarians, health professionals, business success stories, and icons of humanity. And it really comes down to longevity and quality of life, because we mentioned, you know, do what you love and move well and socialise. But to have great quality of life, you do want to eat well with others, great family relationships. You don't want awkward Christmas days and awkward birthdays. Learning what you love to learn, spending less than you earn, but then having a great spiritual fulfillment about the world and your life. So the book is in those parts of longevity and quality of life, and is a summary or a blueprint, if you will, of how many of our aging mentors have lived their life.
That's brilliant. I can't wait to get a copy. That's fantastic. Now, we've got a fun section we'd like to take with you.
Sure.
It's called Time Out. So our next section is called Time Out. Now, I'm a huge fan of travel, not only because it's a great way to explore and learn and to just take life by the horns or to rest, depending on your destination and your travel style. But I also love travel because it teaches us so much about ourselves, and there is no way to get to know someone than to travel with them, right? So on that note, I'd love to invite you to answer a few rapid fire travel questions.
I love this, because I love travel too.
It's going to be so much fun. Yes, it sounds like you do. Okay, let's go. You ready?
Ready.
Favourite city?
Paris, for sure.
Oh, most romantic travel memory?
Well, Shar, we spoke about donuts earlier. I proposed to my now wife, Sarah, in Galway after buying her a donut at the Galway market, and she had no idea what I was doing. I whipped out a Swarovski bracelet, I think, because I had no money at the time. And on an empty stomach with a hot jam donut, I said, "Will you marry me?" And the squeal is one of the most ear-piercing memories I ever have in my life. And I have 4 children, but that is one of the most romantic, beautiful memories I have of travelling.
See, it's all linked to the jam donut. It's
all about the donut.
I'm telling you, people, we need to have some girlfriend hour donuts, just saying. Best shopping?
I still say the Champs-Elysees.
Oh.
But that's just because it's a beautiful long strip and you can do it. This is all pre-children. At your own pace.
They cramp our style.
Yeah, well, they should definitely cramp your shopping style at your own pace. Yeah.
Okay, favourite airport?
Oh, shivers. Are there any? I'm going to sound very parochial here and say Gold Coast Airport.
Oh!
Because it's so easy and I have a lot of great experiences there, and it's not a big, hectic city. I sound like a country boy now, but everything happens
Hey, I'm
smoothly.
a country girl, I get it. Easy,
Yeah.
in, out, fly, gone, done.
Yeah.
Most memorable mid-air moment that you can share?
Well, this is just a little bit cliche, but we took the kids over to Europe in 2018, and just I think my now 9-year-old didn't watch one movie in completion. He just watched one movie about 28 times with the first 30 minutes. And it was one of the most frustrating experiences that it's scarred in my brain. He wanted a new movie, but the same movie, and we just played that game over and over again.
For
22 hours.
24 hours,
Yeah.
oh no, love it. Which country has the friendliest people?
Greece, Ikaria, or Ireland? We lived in Donegal town in Ireland for a year, so it's a tie between Ireland and Greece.
Toilet, squat or Western?
Have some bad memories from Egypt, so I'll say Western.
Bidet or no bidet?
Still like a bidet though.
Yeah,
I like a bidet.
I'm a bidet girl,
I
growing
like a
up in
bidet.
Asia from time to time. I love it. What's the worst piece of travel advice you've ever been given?
Well, people that say don't travel.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's dangerous, and particularly like there was terrorism, and a restaurant we went to in Egypt blew up the next day. Yeah, but we were fine, obviously. But I'd still do it all over again. No, I just love the thrill of travelling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you send postcards when you're away?
I'm too selfish. It's like I'd rather do something else with my time than write postcards. So it's so terrible. Firstborn Leo, but no, I don't.
And are you strict or you go with the flow?
Definitely go with the flow with food.
Yes.
I might be strict if we saw Kylie Minogue on New Year's Eve once in London, and I was like, no, we're going, and that's what we're doing for New Year's Eve. So I think with certain, when they have a lot of great concerts over in Europe particularly, I'm like, no, that's what we're doing. But if something comes up out of the blue, I'm all for it as well. So I'll probably a bit of both there.
And when you meet people when you're travelling, do you stay friends when you come home?
Yes, have some great stories of friends that we've met overseas in a line at a cafe. So yes, I would like to say yes.
Famous in-flight encounters?
I feel like there's been a few, but I love my AFL. So I've seen a few AFL footballers going on their end of season trips. Hollywood. Saw Claudia Schiffer in a 2006 World Cup. I think, flight. Trying to think. No, that might be it.
And travel bucket list that you haven't ticked off?
I'd love to go to Sardinia. We were due to go. So Sardinia is another blue zone in this longevity. National Geographic have 5 blue zones. Sardinia in Italy is one of them. Was due to go there in 2020, but COVID cancelled it. So definitely want to go.
Still got your booking at the restaurant.
Oh, totally. Yep.
And best meal ever?
We got into, where did Romeo and Juliet meet? In Italy. Gee whiz, the town escapes me. Verona. Fair Verona. Got to Verona, hadn't eaten all day, had a fight with Sarah trying to get to the accommodation. It was dark at night, and stumbled across a local family restaurant that only did like one type of pizza.
Yes.
And you would never find it in Lonely Planet or whatever it was, and it was just the biggest come to Jesus moment. Sarah and I were like, the fight was worth it and the trouble was worth it just for this restaurant. So,
that is brilliant. Marcus, we could talk to you all day. Thank you so much. Please give it
Thanks,
up for Marcus Pearce. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shar.
All right. And everyone in the audience today is going home with Marcus Pearce's book, Your Exceptional Life. Well done.
Are you loving the Girlfriend Hour so far? We hope you've been inspired by the wonderful women you've seen sharing their stories. Do you have an inspiring story of your own to share? We're looking for magic just like yours. Be featured in Feminescence magazine and start your own exciting media journey. Join many other fabulous women who've been profiled in Feminescence magazine. Unlock access to an international audience, propel your career and expand your network. Make today the day you back yourself. What are you waiting for? Visit feminescence.com.au to find out more.